In this video, I'm answering a question. And today's question comes from Washington, D.C. from Alexandra. She manages a team of 10 people, says her work's never done, and she's looking to improve her workflow and manage stress. Well, each one of those topics I could easily go down the rabbit hole on and expand and go into great detail. But for the purposes of this video, how about we just jump into a practical strategy that is easy to implement and highly effective. Because here's the thing, if this is not addressed, what ends up happening is this part, the stress part, will just keep increasing. And as that keeps increasing, what starts to show up eventually and starts knocking at your door? Burnout. And we just want to avoid burnout, because when we hit burnout is sometimes, I don't want to say it's totally a point of no return, because I've been in burnout before and returned successfully, but if we can avoid getting there, why not? You're going to be a whole lot more effective day in and day out. You're going to be a whole lot happier day in and out, and your life personally and professionally is only going to be improved. So I'm sharing this today. It's called the 3 Ps, something I learned a long time ago in my NLP training. And what the 3 Ps are this: prioritize, protect, and postpone. So prioritize, simple. Make a priority list. Literally, sit down and just write down your priorities. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20. Nobody's going to just make your list. Now, once you make your list of priorities, take a look at it and now ask yourself an important question. What can I delegate? What can be taken off my plate and delegated to someone else's plate? Meaning, someone you're responsible for within your organization, or someone you just directly hire. You allocate resources to taking this off your plate and putting it on a different plate. And that's something I'm going to take a quick look at too, delegation, because remember, that's one of the hallmarks of being a leader. Literally is being able to delegate so you can focus on your zone of genius and on the things that are going to move the needle. With that being said, the next one is protect. So when we're looking to protect, what we're doing is really setting boundaries. We're also setting time constraints, because what good is saying, hey, I'm going to do something, but if there's not a time limit on it, then it can go into perpetuity, which eventually leads into work never being done. So perhaps the quickest way to really miss one, work never done, is getting really clear on how long should specific things take and sticking to it and setting boundaries around them, okay? This is what's acceptable, this is not what's acceptable. This is how we do it, this is not how we do it. When you're within an organization, you're within a culture. So how is your company culture? How does it operate? How is the communication flow? How do people interact with one another? So bear in mind, like when we have these challenges, for example, work never done, workflow isn't optimized, and stress levels are high, they're usually indicative of other problems or issues that need to be addressed. But either way, let's take a look at this. Say there's not enough time. Okay, you're looking at it and you're like, wow, what needs to get done? There just isn't enough time. So what do I do? Well, here's your answer. If there's not enough time, it usually means a couple things. One, hard skills need to be upgraded. Just got to get better at what you do. It's kind of like take a basketball player who is not making their 3-point shots. They got to practice. Maybe they have to hire a coach to teach them a better technique or mindset to really make those shots with more grace and ease and actually land them through the basket. So when we're running out of time, it's usually the hard skills. Sometimes those need to be upgraded, or sometimes we're not making a correct assessment of the resources we're working with. Maybe we don't fully understand the resources completely inside and out like we should. Like, think of it like this, for example. I'm sure you might have heard the phrase, learn to become more resourceful instead of asking for more resources. In order to be more resourceful, we have to really be crystal clear on what we are working with and understand what we can do with it, how far we can go with it, and how it can be applied. So get clear on skills, okay? Are my skills at a level satisfactory to get the job done within the time constraints that I set? And do I have the resources to complete what I need to do? And am I exercising my boundaries? Now to add to this, okay, so if you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself, yeah, I'm protecting everything. Things are protected, this is great. Well, what that means is you're highly in touch with your skills, so you know your skills and you know how far they go. And it also means that you're clear on the variables, the resources you're working with, and to what extent, how far you can go with them. And I'll give you another example. Like say in the world of surfing, you see a surfer out there and maybe they're surfing big waves. Well, that surfer's out there surfing big waves because that surfer knows they can surf big waves. They're comfortable in the big waves. The equipment, the surfboard they're riding, 9 times out of 10, if you see a surfer in big waves who's surfing big waves well, what does that mean? That surfer selected the right surfboard for those big waves. So that surfer was clear on the resources they needed and knew how to leverage those resources in order to maximize their experience. And what goes into that? Well, a lot of things go into that. We can apply these into business too. Confidence, timing, understanding the environment that you're in. You have the right training, you have the right understanding, and the right equipment to be able to maximize in those bigger conditions. So that's why it is important to be clear on each variable that goes into the outcome that you're seeking to achieve. Now, number 3 right here is postpone. And what does postpone mean? Well, literally what the word means. What's not urgent on that list? So here's the thing: when we do a priority list, when we prioritize, I totally encourage my clients to brain dump. Just put it all out there. It's fine. If it doesn't belong on there, we'll figure it out and we'll take it off. It's not a big deal. I would rather you, how do I want to say this? I'd rather you over communicate than under communicate. So if your natural instinct is to just put all kinds of things down, then just do it, because there's no harm in it. We can always cross things off. That's fine. So on that list, you might notice things that they don't need to be done today. They can be done tomorrow, not today, or they can be done later that week. So figure out what you can postpone. One thing we want to start leveraging is AI, artificial intelligence. When you do the priority list, going through and looking at everything, what I'd like you to do is write next to each one, just do a little AI. What can be delegated off to AI? What can AI do for you? What can AI help you with? And maybe take off your plate. And here's the thing. Anyone out there that's watching this video that's not leveraging AI, you really need to start leveraging AI, because your competition, they are. And when your competition, say they're just as good as you, well, if they can now handle an increased workload of 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, you might be all right today, but let's go 6 months, a year, 2 years into the future. How are you going to compete? It's almost impossible. And keep in mind, in my profession, for what I do, I'm around high achievers and entrepreneurs all the time. And actually, the entrepreneurs I know, they're leveraging the heck out of AI and coaching support too. That's the thing. We're looking towards the future, because you see, when you start increasing your workload, and now your workload goes from 2x to 3x to 4x, that's when you need the coaching support more than ever, because we're not wired to handle all this extra, and that's where the coaches come in. That's why coaching is like $1 billion industry now, because the workload is increasing, demands on the job is increasing, the deliverables are being expected in shorter amount of times, quicker, faster, sooner. I needed it yesterday. So the ones that are not embracing coaching, that are not working with a coach, or embracing AI, there could be trouble in supporting their team to make sure that they're operating at peak performance. Now that you know that, let's summarize here. So we have the 3 P's: prioritize, protect, and postpone. So once you get these right and you get these aligned, what should start to happen, or what will most likely start to happen, is you'll start to notice your workflow will get smoother. Communication will get smoother. And when those two things get smoother, what starts to happen? Your stress starts to decrease. And when your stress starts to decrease, what does that do? That moves you away from burnout and actually moves you closer towards happiness, balance, and satisfaction. You're going to get peace of mind. You'll add some figures maybe to the bottom line. Have a happier team, happier life. It's a win-win all the way around. So I hope I was able to answer the question and provide an amazing strategy that you're going to implement and start applying. That's what I got for right now. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.